Rover Sports, we got Davey Longhorns in here. Who is the best wide receiver in this year's draft?
I mean, a lot of conventional wisdom would automatically point you to Jerry Jeudy. A lot of people, that's who everyone pegged before the year. He would be what I would call the horse out the gate that runs the fastest. And you're like, that's your favorite horse. Over the year and things I saw, Jerry Jeudy had a great reputation with Tua Tagovailoa, but the best receiver in this year's draft to me is the guy on the opposite side of him at Alabama, Henry Ruggs. Guy runs a 4.27 40. He's lightning on the field. Some unofficial times had him at a 4.25. So, you go back and forth on that number. When I see Henry Ruggs, I see Tyreek Hill without beating the girlfriend. I see a guy that, is lightning down the field, a deep ball thrower's dream, can run those reverses kind of like a Deebo Samuel. You can use him in a multitude of different ways in this type of NFL, screens, a scat back, in different ways. I see him as just so versatile. And at the same time, always the threat to take the top off the defense. Might not be the best route runner, but it seems like in today's NFL where, more than ever, it's kind of street ball, spread them out style, what we can do in space, make guys miss. It's more so than ever. You need the guy that is fast, versatile, and basically has unlimited yards after catch type of potential. And that to me is Henry Ruggs.
I look at Lamb as being much better than Ruggs because even though Ruggs can run really fast, I mean, why wasn't Darius Hayward-Bay a great football player? Or why isn't Corey Coleman the best player out of Baylor? They're very, very similar, Corey Coleman. And it helps when you have Devontae Smith. Next year, Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle's a souped-up Henry Ruggs to me. When I watch Waddle, he can fly. He can actually return these kicks. Henry Ruggs is not a defined route runner like Jerry Jeudy. And Ceedee Lamb is the best wide receiver because he's physically imposing. I mean, you throw a jump ball up to Lamb, he's catching the ball over anybody. He's taking it to the house, even if there's 3 defenders there against Texas. Ceedee Lamb is a man amongst boys. The guy can toe drag. He's so defined as a receiver in terms of how he utilizes the sideline. The catch radius is better. When you look at every great receiver, they got to have tricks of their trade. Even Tyreek Hill, like you pointed out, he does have great route running ability. He has great cutting ability. I don't know if Ruggs has unbelievable cutting ability, and that's why I'm going with Ceedee Lamb. I don't know if Ruggs has the cutting ability. And Tyreek Hill, you have Patrick Mahomes throwing him the football, making him even that much better. And with Ceedee Lamb, it didn't matter if it was Kyler, it didn't matter if it was Baker Mayfield, or even Jalen Hurts, who has that loopy delivery. Lamb still produces every single year.
Definitely definitely a great receiver. I'm not going to sit here and absolutely bash Ceedee Lamb as saying, he's a bad receiver. So my preference is definitely Henry Ruggs, faster. And honestly, the thing that really scares me with Ceedee Lamb is physically imposing receiver. I mean, 4.5 40, it's kind of right in that range of, average 40 time for a wide receiver. And then I start thinking, who are those type of guys that less than stellar breakaway speed? And then is he more of a Laquan Treadwell? Physically imposing in college, caught everything, but lacked the burn of speed. I mean, the guy is a great receiver, but I don't see how you could pass up on that type of over-the-top speed, that type of game-breaking speed. And it's one of these guys that, and it's not just, you're saying, oh, we're going to watch Henry Ruggs over the top. Ruggs is one of these guys who did it in 3 different facets of the game. I will say he's a little bit more limited. I will admit that, but he's elite in these facets. Slants, taking it to the house, and slants and bubble screens. 2 things that, it still seem like they equate. If you can get this guy into space, and that speed is used, he's not just a guy that you're running one go route, kind of like a Darius Hayward-Bay, and it's a one-trick pony. So I see him as a little bit more of a complete receiver. I don't think he's a great route runner, but I think he does have the ability to make people in some space.
I think there is a spot for him in the league, but I definitely worry about him, and I don't know why John Ross didn't work out. I mean, Laquan Treadwell, that's a very interesting comparison. Maybe he was just shelved in Minnesota. He also had the injuries. He was a great player in college, but also Treadwell, I think he tore his ACL. That might have really hobbled him going into the draft. It might have really suffered his confidence. Might have really gotten shot. But you look at Adam Thielen doesn't have breakaway speed. Cortland Sutton doesn't have breakaway speed.
Sure.
Marvin Jones. Now Marvin Jones is kind of athletic. Galladay is similar. You could still have a big receiver and be very, very effective. So everybody is looking for speed now, and it's the ultimate test because Ruggs isn't the most, polished route runner, but the guy is a great kid, great family man, and a really good guy. So I don't want to sound like I'm rooting for him to fail, but I think Lamb and Jeudy are much higher on this pedestal. And then you look at Rager and Ruggs, and I put him right up there with the kid from TCU, Jalen Rager.
And then I know, Spencer, I know you actually have an interesting theory on who the best receiver in this draft is, and it might not be someone who was drafted, but he did spend a first-round pick on a receiver.
Who is that?
Team from Buffalo. This is another theory you have.
Yes. Is that this wide receiver class? I think Stephon Diggs would still be like up there at one of the best receivers in this class.
I mean, basically, I know we had this argument off air, and it's kind of one of those deals that I know you feel. I still feel I would take Ruggs over him, but you feel that the Buffalo Bills might be the biggest winner as far as you feel that. What?
Yeah, I feel Diggs. Well, first of all, Ruggs has never even set foot on the field yet. Yeah. So Diggs is a guy that has played in the league. He has that superstar ability. Buffalo needs to have that star. They need star powers. They need guys to stretch the field. First of all, Ruggs, you're going to have to trade up anyway, give away assets, maybe give away a pick because Ruggs, I mean, everybody's like you, Davey Longhorns. I mean, the Jets are falling in love with Ruggs. Ruggs might be the first wide receiver off the board. Buffalo wasn't going to get him at 23. If you don't love Justin Jefferson, you look at Stephon Diggs, and Diggs is a really talented receiver. He had Kirk Cousins, so maybe with Josh Allen, a little bit more of a deep ball thrower, Stephon Diggs can be the guy. And they're taking a swing. Diggs has played a long time. The Bills are win now. When they pay Josh Allen, the defense gets old. People retire. You can't wait around for kids to produce.
And this is one thing that I think you will start seeing in the NFL where you get a tad away from that, but good cop, bad cop. But we're just talking about the draft real quick, is that teams are willing to spend maybe a back-end first-round pick on a more of a proven commodity like this stuff on Diggs, where maybe like 5 years ago, it was like unheard of. Like, trade a player for a first-round pick. You can't do that. It was like, and now teams are realizing these back-end first-round guys. So I do like, you had talked about that. It is a good theory. I'm still going to stick with Ruggs here in this spot.
Yeah, and the cops could definitely argue the NBA even with the Houston Rockets and the value of draft picks, but it is a good class. Buffalo's is a very unique team, and I look at Lamb. I think the Cowboys actually might take Ceedee Lamb at 17. I think Jerry's going to fall in love with Lamb and the pipeline to Oklahoma. And it's unbelievable that Lincoln didn't even get a shot there for the Dallas Cowboys.
I mean, that's going to be another great good cop, bad cop, because, I don't know if it's unbelievable or Lincoln just didn't want the job.
It will be. But that is good cop, bad cop. I got Ceedee Lamb. You got Henry Ruggs. That's another edition of Good Cop,